Today we have light roast coffee. This is the first coffee I will make, and if it will not make the balanced cup of coffee from the first try, I will try to make it perfect. Let's grind 20 grams of coffee and use 200 grams of water. It is rated 400 watts. I want it to be lower because the heating will be rapid. So you can hear it's working, and we will measure the time. And it has indicator which shows you that it's heating up. At least you can visually see what's inside. So you can use some flashlight to see what's inside. So we see already that the foam starts to shape. So the brewing time is okay, it's like more than 3 minutes. And it starts to boil. There is not enough foam, like to control it visually. It starts to boil over. So I will take it off now. What it will do, it will probably boil, yeah. And what? What should I do? Like wait or something? 3 minutes. So at least we have a coffee. As for the cleaning, relatively easy. So there is easy to reach the bottom. Definitely easier than this one when you cannot reach the bottom. So I like already that this is first of all automatic and it works, and that it's easier to clean, and the dose is not super huge. You can do 2 cups and it will be okay. Did not hit the record button. So first impressions in a hot cup, very hot. It was drying, tasteless, and like very drying, and caramel notes in aftertaste. Now, when it a little bit cooled down, there is more berries, but it's still flat, so like thin layer of flavor, which is not nice. For this coffee, what I perceived in the first cup, first try, when I've tried to brew it in manual, regular briquette, it was too heavy. So like overpowered flavor, which covered the berries, which is like red berries here, very nice. And today, yeah, it was brewed yesterday, this bad cup, and today I adjusted the recipe, made the foam motion less, so I've taken it off earlier, and that way I've received incredibly balanced cup. Like it was berries, it was sweetness, it was everything mixed together without drying notes. I don't know why it's so present here. Maybe it's because the coffee lifted too much. I will take it off like 7 seconds earlier than it turned off. At least 7 seconds. When it cools down, berries starts to appear, but it's a thin layer. Definitely better, way better. Aftertaste is here finally, with some berries, amount of acidity. Perfect. Good job. So from the first try, I am impressed, because I thought that this amount of foam lift will ruin the cup, like it would in regular jasmine if you lift it too much. In second attempt, I will decrease the dose twice, by 2 times. So I will brew 100 milliliters and 10 grams of coffee. So this is a regular dose which most people will drink 1 cup. Will it make a coffee well enough to be close to this one or not? Of course, drying is here still, so I did not have it because coffee raised too much. So it is good enough, I would say, because we can decrease this drying and it will be perfect, but you will need to manage visually, stop it in a proper time. So you see that foam starts to boil and you just take it off or turn off. You don't wait for it to boil out to automatically stop. That's how you can adjust how to use this one if you don't have regular, normal jazba. So right away, I do not recommend this one. If you want electric, go with this. There is no point like if you are spending money on one thing, it's better to get a proper one right away. 1:30, it starts to boil a little bit. Yeah. Whoa! It stopped earlier. It can stop it properly. Better than I thought. Seems like it has some temperature sensor, which probably senses not the foam, not only the foam, but the vapor. So it's pretty clever. And if you want to have a review of ultimate coffee maker, Turkish coffee maker, Beko BK2300, something like this. So if you want review of this automatic coffee brewer, Beko, you can support me on YouTube or on Patreon. It's easier on YouTube, and you will have beautiful bean besides your name if you comment under the video. Again, aroma is nice, and the foam lifted like not considerably. Nice cup of coffee. I would like to take it off earlier, and I can do this, which is great. Let's check while this cooling down. Medium roast. I'm gonna brew 15 grams of coffee now, espresso. There is no need to have a lot of foam. The only thing it cares about is the vapor, as I understand. So when it reaches the temperature of the vapor enough, so it will cover this thing, it will stop. So first of all, it's easier to like brew a couple of cups in a row, and to have a great coffee, easier to share within the cups. So if you're brewing for 2 persons, it's better to brew 2 cups in a row than one and share it. You will not have consistent amount of foam in each. New flavors, some details started to appear. Better than in this one for some reason. Definitely a lighter cup, but it is drinkable, both of them. And this one has lower dryness. Nice fruity cup. I enjoy it. So it worked with the 10 grams. But of course, when I brew in this, it will be 3 times better, at least, because it will have more nuances in taste, like more body. It will be like, it's thin body for some reason. 2 minutes 20 seconds, and it barely touched, the foam barely touched, like it switched off before touching the sensor. The balance is not great after all. I will check the first cup. Better, richer body. So if you're going to brew less coffee, I will take it off earlier or use different grind size, coarser, because this one is like not balanced. It was acidic, but then it was like not great aftertaste. With the increased grind size, like, let's go significantly more. 2 rotations on Kino. Previously it was 1 rotation, 3 rotations I use for my coarse grind size. So it's in the middle, like AeroPress zone, something like that. And I'm gonna use first coffee Rwanda with, let's make 10 grams. Why I'm doing this, because I want to make this cup of coffee better, and I want to see, will it affect the flavor in a way that I want? And if so, I will recommend you to do this. Like, if you have some problem, do this. That's the point of the video. Of course, I will show you the grind size. I will try to make it. This way it's easier to assess. Like mocha pot grind size, something like this. So that way extraction will be slower, and we should not have this bitter-ish aftertaste, unbalanced aftertaste. Probably check our espresso. I'm not sure what is it, but it's nice. Extremely flavorful, but there is this dry note which I want to prevent. So next cup I will make this coffee, but I will take it manually, turn off Like, can I use it? Yeah, I can turn it off by just pressing. I will turn it off earlier, like I would do, like I would brew. We will see, will I make this cup better or not? It's very interesting. So stay tuned, because now we will fix this cup of coffee. Now, around 140, and yeah, it's boiling. So you should take it off immediately, because it starts to boil and it doesn't stop. Inertia is too big. While we're waiting for the last one with 10 grams with a coarser dry size light roast, we will make this coffee without these dry notes, like this Malawi. And I'm gonna use for this same 15 grams of coffee. And it should give me more clarity, more roundness, more... Yeah, roundness is the right word, because this is... So what I personally want is adjustment of the temperature, so level of the temperature, to have better control without switching off manually. Because this drying present in all of the cups. In the first one it was like very obvious in a hot cup. The coarser grind size helped us to make it better. It's still hot. And it's like, yeah, it's boiled. It is smooth, it's like cacao, but with a low amount of cacao if you add like too much water. But it is way smoother, so it's like even too smooth. So probably if you experience drying, too much of aggressive notes, sharp notes, increase the grind size. It will help a little bit. So now I'm gonna take it off right when it starts to boil. So it takes like a few seconds to react. And yeah. You see? Perfect timing, perfect crema, hopefully perfect beverage. For traditional Turkish coffee, which is roasted darker, which has more caramel, nuts, chocolate notes, it is required to brew like this does. So for traditional coffee, I think you can get Mehmet Efendi, and it will make a balanced cup of coffee. But for me, for specialty coffee, it's not working. Like, I believe there is like slightly more flavor in aroma. More flavor and cleaner. Still a little bit drying for some reason, but more like layers of flavor. But it's still thin, somewhat thin. Not sure it helped the coffee for this exact espresso roast, but the aftertaste a little bit better. Like, not perfect. So even if you take it off earlier, or you need to take it off way earlier, like 20 seconds before, 30 seconds before, because it's still, the disc at the bottom will heat up the liquid. And first of all, you can't just make a coffee. You need to stay near it, because you will need to pour it out right away. Otherwise it will boil. So it has inertia, and pretty big inertia, as we've seen in the previous cup. Just 5 seconds and still boiling, and it ruins the flavor. It's like rounded and ruined. Not good. So you'll need to stay near the machine all the time and take it off immediately. Now the temperature of the cup is better. The coffee is not super rounded, I suppose it shouldn't be. A little bit of drying, like not that much. Mostly aftertaste is nice and is great. So the temperature, final temperature could be a little bit lower, so you can take it out earlier. Honey processed coffee. That's why it's a little bit tricky. It needs lower temperature because extraction rate is higher than in washed coffee. With the big sip, it works. So, yeah, big sip helped. And the temperature is now like perfect. Warm, aftertaste, interesting, some fruit. You can use it totally and worked like 70% of what I will get in a regular jazva, you will get here. If you want 100% of flavor, get the jazva. And again, this heating element, it can brew 10 grams of coffee, 100 grams of water, but the inertia of this disc is enormous, and it's way better to take it off earlier when you see that it started to raise or create this boiling noise. So for basic coffee, yes, it should work well. But for specialty coffee, take it off earlier and it will fix most of the problems. That's it for today. Hope you've learned something. See ya.